we continue on with our John Vance Motors interviews, and we can now go downstairs with the Blue Jay head coach, Kelly Beeby.
Coach, we always talk about homecoming 2017. It starts on Monday. It's anything but football throughout the week. I know it's a coach's nightmare, especially when you put on the game film and you see all the athletes that a Northwest Classen team brings to the field. So you got to be very pleased with the way that your kids responded.
Well, we just talked about execution. Prior to the game, we talked about, how we were honoring a couple of our great classes, 02 and 07 that were here, and just how big of an event, from a social aspect this is for our community, and wanted to go out and put a good product on the field. And we got a little sloppy late. We had some penalties, but that happens in these type of ball games. And I thought our coaches did a great job of managing the game and still being respectful of Northwest Classen. Those old kids, I just talked to them in their huddle with Coach Vandersype, and I told them, I said, I had more respect for those guys than most teams we play. They play for love of the game, and they played with respect and honor and played as hard as they could. They only had 24 kids available, so we're going to eat together after this ball game, and that's what it's all about. We can get caught up in the wins and losses and all those type of things, but truly great night for the Blue Jays.
Well, it's obviously the 10-year reunion of the 07 team, and that's awesome. Got to see a lot of them. Got to see the 02 team. It wouldn't be right if we didn't have a shutout and a running clock, both for them, right?
Well, we did have a shutout. I thought it was in jeopardy. We got some of our young guys in. It's always nice to be able to get some guys some time under the lights down here. And to their credit, they made 2 or 3 plays and bowed their necks and got them off the field, and then we were able to kill the clock. Chance Lawson there at the end. I would love to give him a touchdown, but I didn't want to rub it in. But anyway, no, our offensive line came off. I think Gavin had 3 touchdowns early. Defensively we were dominant, got in their backfield. We did all the things you're supposed to do. When you're the better football team, we executed. That'll be the last night we have like this year. We got a tough road ahead. Kids know that, but this is a fun one to enjoy.
Coach, I want to talk about one young man. We just talked to him a minute ago, Troy Branson. He was the FCA player of the game, and boy, he comes on the early blitzes on the 3rd down and long. He flushes the quarterback. We saw whenever they actually got the ball off on a deep pass, they are very capable. So getting pressure on the quarterback was huge. It was great to see him get rewarded actually with the turnover there in the second half.
Yeah, the first thing he said when he came over, he said, "Dadgummit, Coach, I'm slow. I should have scored." I said, that was a great play. Troy's he's our utility man. He's our Swiss Army knife. He's a 2-3 year veteran for us there in the middle, and he's a spark plug. He plays with such passion, such physicality, and we do send him on a lot of pressures, and for him to get actually get his eye discipline where we're supposed to be, go hook, curl, flat, and get the pick was a lot of fun for him.
Last report, Lawton Ike was defeating Woodward, which that's not really a surprise because that's a long ways to go for Woodward to go down there. But again, very difficult district and winnable games down the stretch, but I know it's one game at a time, and next week, again, the schedule continues to be difficult. Long road trip to Lawton.
Yeah, itinerary-wise, we're squared away on that, and practice-wise, we've already been looking at them a little bit. They got the very dynamic quarterback in R.J. Fisher, and they got skill kids that would rival maybe a Carl Albert. Now, schematically, they don't have the Carl Albert scheme, but man for man athletically, they're in that vein. So they present a lot of problems. Defensively, they just got a ton of speed. So our offensive and defensive lines have got to be dominant in that football game in order to neutralize some of that perimeter speed they have. And then, you got a great athlete like RJ on the field. It's always fun to challenge yourself in your defense, and we're looking forward to getting on the road and going out there and seeing what we can get done.
Coach, we talked about the 02 team being here, the 10-year reunion of the 07 team being homecoming, all the hoopla. You got to talk about the gigantic crowd tonight. It was an awesome atmosphere.
Well, and I've been 2 or 3 times, I know, on air. I've complimented our fans, and it was packed tonight. Both sides were filled with our fans, and in the end zone and the baseball field, and there's nothing better than a big win down at the Rock. And you can smell the burgers in the air, and everybody's laughing and hugging and catching up, and a lot of fun to be a part of. Just glad our football team went out and executed and did their part.
Coach, appreciate it. It was an absolutely glorious week. It was a great end to that. You know, I always compare it to the Tournament of Roses, where the Rose Bowl actually is just the culmination of the whole week, and then the celebration. That's kind of the way that this football game went. That's the way it should be. This was the culmination to a great week.
Yeah, you know, last year I think we won 23-20 against Lawton Ike, so a little bit more relaxed environment than that one last year. But I don't know. It's been a long time since we haven't shown the home crowd a victory on homecoming. We don't plan on doing it anytime soon.
Coach, appreciate it. Best of luck.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. That's obviously a very excited, ecstatic, relieved. You know, homecoming's over. It was not stressful. It was the way it should have been. And for the first time in a long time, Coach Beeby has gotten the opportunity to have those emotions. So obviously a great night for everybody, including him.